Hi guys, this is Aly Kassam here, Director of Product at OneLedger. I'm here to actually talk to you guys about how we're actually solving the interoperability solution within OneLedger and within the OneWallet. So the first thing you can see from my screen here is that we have both Ethereum and the OLT token or the OneLedger token in my OLT account. I also have Ethereum accounts here that have Ethereum on this. Now, of course, I'm running this in Chronos testnet environment right now. So everything I'm doing is on testnet. And it's pointing to Rink B for the Ethereum testnet network. That being said, when this is live, come May 11th, it's not going to be Chronos, it's going to be Kanos. Make sure that when you're going to the Chrome store to download this wallet, you're ensuring that you're downloading the Kanos version of the wallet, which is the investor and the live version, not the developer or the testnet version, which is Chronos, because you don't want to make a mistake of sending Ethereum from Ethereum Live network to a testnet network. You lose your Ethereum. So be very careful when you're doing this that you're pointing to Kanos, and that's the environment that you're doing this in. So that being said, what I'm really going to do is move my Ethereum move some Ethereum from this Ethereum account, ETH1, to the OLT1 account. So you can see I have a 1 Ethereum balance there, and I have 14.2 here. To do this, it's just like a bank transfer. So imagine you were moving USD to any other currency. That's the same thing we were doing. So what we do here is we have two things. We have a send and a transfer under your wallet functionality. The send is to send somebody Ethereum or OneLedger token, right? So the OLT or the Ethereum token. The transfer is to actually move funds from the OneLedger network to the Ethereum network, and then from Ethereum network to the OneLedger network. Now, the only currency currently functioning on this is Ethereum. So I'm picking ETH as the transfer. In the future, you'll see multiple currencies that can jump from their main net into the OneLedger network. And so I'm going to go from my Ethereum account. I'm going to select ETH1 to my OLT1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 1.2, just random, so you can see it. And then I'm going to put my password in. So what this actually did was it created a transaction and got your fees. Now the fees that are being applied are both being applied to the Ethereum network and the OneLedger network. This is because you have both fees that are occurring. Because when you're doing a transfer transaction, a transaction has to happen on the Ethereum network, hence the Ethereum fees. And then we actually have to make another transfer on the OneLedger network to ensure that your account is being updated with the Ethereum amount. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that. And it asks you again to be sure that you're moving it from the right accounts because we don't want you to incur any fees or any losses. So go ahead and say yes. And then you'll get the completed transaction. Now, when you click on this, it'll take you to the OneLedger One Explorer, and it'll show you that you're moving 1.2 Ethereum. It's in an Ether lock, which is basically our transfer transaction. We're updating our transfer our types right now, so that'll say Ethereum transfer, right, in the future, and it tells you from account into account. That's simple. So let's go back and now look at our accounts. So here you go. So I lost 1.2. Remember, this was 14.2, the balance on the Ethereum side. If I go to Ethereum, I can see the transfer hasn't occurred yet on the Ethereum side, so it's probably pending still, but we might have it on our side already. So let's take a look there really quickly. Yeah, 1.2 has come in. And we know this transaction ahead of Ethereum because our transaction finality is a lot faster. But what we are doing is we're checking the balance on that network. Balance still hasn't been updated, which means the transaction hasn't finalized. What we're working towards within the account history is being able to show this as a pending transaction, which will happen shortly, probably around the time that the wallet's released. You'll be able to tell this is an impending state. So you know that it's happened. It's waiting for Ethereum finality before the balances get updated. So that being said, I'm just going to jump into here and just show you, hopefully the transaction has gone through. Yep, and there it is, negative 1.2, which means you moved 1.2 from that account. Remember, this is ETH1. It's coming into here. So it takes a little time for this balance to update, which is fine. You can tell that the transaction has taken place because you have the transaction IDs there. So that's kind of the move, the interoperability functionality. And now questions will arise: why do we want to move Ethereum from the Ethereum network to the OneLedger network? And the simple fact is, we can transact faster with on your Ethereum tokens with a cheaper cost. So because you're paying OLT fees on the OneLedger network, you will only be charged OLT fees when you're sending Ethereum from one account to another. Now, that's being said only when you're sending it on the OLT network. Now, if you're transferring it back and forth from the Ethereum network, obviously there'd be Ethereum fees because there's transactions on that side. So to be very clear, the reason why we're doing this right now is to be able to set us up for the future when you'll be able to spend Ethereum on our network just the way you can spend OLT on our network through dApps and applications that we're building in the future. So it's very easy to move the Ethereum over to our network and then be able to transact on it and send it. And you would do a simple send through the send functionality here. You would pick the blockchain you want to send over, which is OneLedger, and you can see that you have both currencies there. So you'd be able to send Ethereum again over that network. Yep, that's everything for this video. If you have any questions, concerns, please leave them down in the comments, as well as make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit us up on Telegram and on Twitter at OneLedger Tech. Thanks, guys.